Have you started?
We're only two.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have a
Well,
quorum.
I think we have to revise the quorum to 1.5 or 2.
We're only two.
Oh,
We didn't have a quorum.
Okay, okay. We have a fourth person. Pastor Michael Sosu, you are welcome. Okay. The floor is open. Anybody with a question, a problem, a revelation, please, you have the floor. Dr. Wesley.
not yet. I think my question was asked last week, and I think we went over it. So that was my own question.
Okay. Gabo.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's the right time to talk about it, but maybe I don't know whether
Answer the question before.
I was discussing this topic with my wife, and she was saying at that time most of them were marrying in their family.
There is little evidence for that.
You even said it, Abraham. What's it called? Um, is it?
Okay, let's put it this way. Even if that is true,
No, you said it.
God had come in to tell Abraham something, right? Sometimes God is progressive with us, right? Like a good father and a good teacher, right? A good father may allow the child to do certain things at a certain point in the child's development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then at some point, the father says, you can't go there anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we know that marrying your close relative, right,
Mm-hmm.
can lead to all kinds of problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, though it may be allowed at a certain point, like when Adam and Eve were the only couple there and they gave birth, their children, the boys, married their sisters. Are you getting me? Because
Mm-hmm.
that was the only way procreation could happen. But at some point, when the populations have fairly grown, you don't want to go back to an earlier practice.
Do
When
we have
now,
record of Adam's children marrying their sisters?
yeah, necessarily. Because don't forget, if Adam and Eve were the first couple, right? And they gave birth to Cain and Abel, and Cain and Abel married and gave birth, whom would Cain and Abel have married? Wouldn't they also be children of Adam or daughters of Adam and Eve? Are you
I mean,
getting it?
yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why the Bible was silent about the
No, exactly,
daughters of
because
Adam.
I told you one of the things we are learning is showing and not telling.
But at the same time, the same Bible also says, don't add or don't remove. So we have to be careful
No,
implying or pulling stuff that were not there.
when you make a deduction, that is not adding. Are you getting me? If, for example, I gave you if I tell you I have a wife, right? I have also, that's an explicit statement. But the implicit deduction is that I am married. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when I explicitly also say I am married, which used to be an implicit derivation, right? I am not adding to the text. I am only bringing out something which actually is contained in the text, only it is not explicitly stated. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, yes.
that's what we have to understand. Pastor Mike, you are welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you.
Um,
We are honored
Amen.
to have you once again.
And then Pastor Akon, from what you are saying, or Pastor Mike, you are welcome. From what you are
Thank you.
saying,
Yeah.
we are all related by incest. We all married ourselves, just that it's distant.
At one time, the human family was small, right? And so certain things may be permitted. You get me? Until it reaches a point where sanctions will be put in place against the practice, right? Because a practice may be permitted in order to solve a particular problem. But when that problem is solved, there is no need for the practice. There may be no need for the practice because the practice may actually come with certain sacrifices that under normal circumstances will be too much in terms of cost-benefit analysis. Are you getting me? So when that emergency is no longer there, why do you want to continue with the practice that may be quite expensive? Is that making sense?
It makes big sense. I
Yeah.
remember, like the old days when like they go and take bullocks or sheep and go to the temple for the sacrifices.
Mhm.
We cannot go back and practice that.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting. One day, your friend, Pastor Kranchiankra,
Mhm.
Gabo, you can't do that because you don't have a cow or sheep. That's why you can't do it. Yeah, have a cow.
I was impressed. I went. Kranchiankra was was a tenant to me when he came to Ghana in the beginning, and I was going to collect money from him on Sunday. And it's Sunday service. I went to Sunday service. People were carrying sheep into the church and brought it to him. It was so interesting. So when you were talking, I said, we cannot practice those things again.
Yeah, we can't. We can't. And we have to understand it very clearly.
Any
Right?
church
I'll
members,
give you an example.
and
When
yet
I
Tony,
was at
they had a Tony. They were coming to church with a Tony. It was so interesting.
when I was when I was at Legon,
Mhm,
one of our
mhm,
we call them the Potter's Lodge, right? Call them receptionists. One
mhm.
of them was married to his sister. And I remember the mother would come and insult him. And we didn't understand why the mother was insulting him, right? Until one day, the mother just came with the insults and then brought 3 of the guy's children. All of them were mentally retarded.
Oh,
Mm.
because he
All,
married.
absolutely all.
He,
All of them. And the retardation was so pronounced.
because he married his sister and her children.
For me, and the mother was, he said, how? What ba? The insult, and because we thought the mother was doing too much, until she brought the children serious mental retardation. Anyway, so Again, this practice may have been allowed. I mean, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. When there was a time when Noah and his 3 children and their wives were the only people on the face of the earth, because everybody had died, right? If Ham gave birth, Japheth gave birth, and Shem also gave birth, they necessarily will marry amongst themselves. That may be permissible, because you have this big earth with only 8 people to populate it. Is that making sense? That may be permitted, but you know that it is possible that out of every 5 children born, 3 may not function too well. Are you getting me? So there is a reason why a practice may be accepted to contain a situation. But after the situation is resolved, you don't want to continue with the practice.
You're right.
Before Abraham or before Moses' time, it was allowed. But then when Moses collected the tablets with the 10 commandments, I mean,
times, right? Yeah. In fact, if you read serious books on anthropology, you would realize that almost every society at some point has practiced cannibalism. Almost every society. Because it is known that in serious times of famine, right, when there is no meat, there is no food, the group may have to reduce their numbers. And one way to reduce their numbers will be to sacrifice some of their members to become food. It solves certain problems. One, that person that is sacrificed will provide food for those that are not sacrificed. And 2, it will reduce the numbers of the population so that when food becomes available, there will be fewer people going for it. Every society, one way or the other. That's why you read in the Bible, right? King Jeroboam, there was famine in Israel to the point that 2 women, they had an understanding to sacrifice one child, and then when it reached the turn of the other woman, she didn't want to do it. Right? And it led to all kinds of things, because I think the Babylonians or the Assyrians or one of had actually encircled Jerusalem and created all those kinds of problems. These are known facts. But when food becomes available, are you going to continue to sacrifice?
No.
When that these are some of the things you have to come to understand about life. That societies go through all kinds of things where certain practices that may not be too beneficial may be allowed to contain a situation. But when the situation is no longer there, there will be no need to continue with the practice, because it may be too costly.
Even not too far, look at how the COVID killed people. Look at the number of people who died out of the COVID.
So these are some of the. Pastor Mike, do you have something to say?
Not yet.
But you agree with that statement?
But yes, please. I really agree with you.
He contributed, yeah.
Okay. Good. So today, today is going to be a lot of fireworks. I want you to, we are going to take leaps of faith. And we are going to go back to the text to see if we can use some facts there to support some of the things we are going to discuss. The reason I'm doing this is we are not, again, we are not only studying the Bible for spiritual sharpening, but also reading the Bible for mental toughening. Right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways we toughen our minds is sometimes to look at facts and then make what we call intelligent guesses. Right? What you, if you come to the research arena, you call hypothesis. Right? Where the facts as presented may compel a certain conclusion, right? And then later you come, when more facts become available, you either stick with the conclusion or update the belief. So today, why I gave you that is to ask ourselves, we've been able to prove, last week we did that indeed, when God asked Abraham to leave his country, and Abraham relocated with his father to Haran, they used to live in where? Ur of the Chaldees. And God said, leave your country. And Abraham relocated to Haran. We agree that by leaving Ur, he may seem to have obeyed the command, the first command, if we treat the first command in isolation. Because the first command, according to Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, is that leave your country. And all that will be needed for obedience to be established is that Abraham will leave the borders of the Ur of the Chaldees. Is that making sense? So if we take just the first command in isolation, yes, Abraham obeyed when he relocated from Ur to Haran. But now, I also want to challenge you to now go a step further, because God used the word country. So what is the definition of a country? Right? A country may be a big geographical space with multiple cities and towns and villages, right? As part of it. Do we agree? Take Ghana as a country. We have 16 regions. Each of the regions has over 1,000 towns. True or false? True or false?
It has how many? 1,000 towns?
Thousands of towns and villages. So if you take Greater Accra region, you have how many towns, right? Osu is a town. Jamestown, Korle-Gon, Manpro, all these are towns, right? Do we agree? Or let's even say that, okay, when we take Ghana, Ghana constitutes a country. But Ghana has been divided into 16 regions, right? If God asks you to leave Ghana, and at the time he asked you, you were living in Koforidua, for example, and then you move from Koforidua to Boku, would you have left Ghana?
No.
But you would have left where you were, which was Koforidua,
Your location.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you would have relocated to another place. But the point is, you have not relocated outside the borders of Ghana. Is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's even make it a bit tough for anybody to. If you were staying at Aflao, you know Aflao is part of Ghana, right?
Aflao. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And God asks you to relocate leave Ghana.
Leave your country.
Leave your country. If you leave Aflao and go to Wa, would you have left Ghana?
No.
How many miles from Aflao to Wa? About 600 miles, right?
That's right.
Do we agree? About 600 miles, right? Do we agree?
We don't know. Me, I don't know.
We don't know. We are just here listening to you.
Myself, I don't know.
We don't
Unless we Google.
Actually, we can estimate because you can't go from Aflao to Wa direct. You'd have to come to Accra and then travel north. So Aflao to Accra is 131 miles. From Accra to Tamale is 406 miles. From Tamale to Boga is 100 miles.
And that's
From
the
Boga to
potholes.
Wa is 60 miles. So it's even more.
I'm sure it's more than 100 miles.
From Tamale to Boga.
Tamale to Boga.
It's more than 100 miles.
Should be more than.
Okay. So we know that, let's say, Wa to, Aflao to Wa is more than 600 miles, right?
Yeah.
But if you move from Aflao to Wa, even though you've covered 600 miles, you are still within the borders of Ghana. On the other hand, what is the distance between Aflao and Lomé?
It's just the border.
So let's give ourselves 10 miles, right? Conservative.
It's just the border.
Okay. Okay. But do you realize somebody, if God tells you, leave your country, Ghana, and you cross the border to Aflao, you've obeyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
But despite the distance, on the other hand, if you travel to Wa, you have disobeyed. Are we not getting the picture clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you have to read, I want you go to ChatGPT and ask it to draw the map of Mesopotamia and include Haran, where Abraham moved to, and where Abraham used to be, and then ask it to include Canaan, where God asked Abraham to go. And you will realize that if we are going to be very legalistic about it, Haran is 550 miles from Air. But if you go straight from Air to Canaan, it will be about 400 miles.
It's shorter. So why did he go to Haran?
That is This now, I want you to become very good students. Challenge yourself. Are you getting me? Challenge yourself, and then you begin to see this test becomes experiential. That, hey, I am dealing with real life. So the question we now want to ask ourselves, when God used the word country, and Abraham traveled from Ur to Haran, did he leave his country despite the fact that he had left his place of abode, which was Ur? Did he really leave his country?
No.
Very interesting. That's how good a student I want you to become. Probe these things. And so I also want you to look at an interesting development. And with that, we are going to look at the text again. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 11, verse 31. After we've read it, we'll read Genesis chapter 12, verse 4. Are we ready? This
Yes.
what it says. Pastor Mike, you are ready?
I'm listening.
Okay.
I've not opened the Bible.
This is Genesis chapter 11, verse 31. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Pay attention. Now let's go to Genesis 12, verse 4, and read what it also says. Oh, no, actually, verse 5, I'm sorry. Genesis chapter 12, verse 5.
12 verse 5, yes.
Yes.
And Abraham took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls of that they had gathered, they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came.
Amen. There are two facts in Genesis chapter 12, verse 5, that are absent in Genesis chapter 11, verse 31. Can you see them? Can you see those facts?
When they got to Haran, and they came forth to go to Canaan, and into Canaan, the land they came. That's so interesting.
Let me help you. It says, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. So when they left Ur, they didn't go with substance. At least the substance, because it says the substance that they had gathered and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. Do you get that picture? Do you get those facts? Dr. Boyson? Dr. Boyson, are you there?
Yes. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Okay. Do you get those two facts? Very interesting facts. Right? Very interesting facts. And we are going to see how they could have played a big role in Abraham and Lot's decision.
So how long did they stay in Haran?
That's what we don't know. We don't know. And in fact, the Bible is silent on it. I've done research on it. Nobody could say, but there is, a consensus that it could be at least 20 to 25 years.
Yeah, they stay there long because that's how they got too much.
Last time we were saying about 50 or so years.
Yeah, possibly. And so
is it written in anywhere in the Bible
which fact?
that they stayed for about 50 years?
No, there isn't. But we have to, as serious students, we want to see if we can put together facts as provided to come up with some serious explanations.
Can we make a deduction from when, okay, so we know Terah was 70 when he had his firstborn. And Abraham must have been born when Terah was about, what, 130 years?
Yes, yeah. Says Abraham was born 60 years after Terah
Haran was,
to his first son.
and so, Terah died at 205 years. And when did they leave Ur of the Chaldees?
We are not given that. Else it would have been easy for us to.
At what age was?
We've not been given. We've not been given. That's why we are seeing if we can cobble facts, right, and make intelligent deductions. This is how you develop your mind. This is how you develop sophistication. And that's what I want us to see if we can. We are using those facts that are there. The author may have a reason for giving us these facts. And it is up to us as diligent students to probe the facts. And that's why we read Genesis chapter 12, 31. And we realized that the same actions that Terah performed, he took this, he took that, and then they went. The same thing Abraham did in Genesis 12:5. But the author has given us additional facts in Genesis 12:5 that we don't find in Genesis 11:31. So we want to see, could they tell us something? Could they suggest? Could they suggest something that may have influenced or informed the decision of Terah or Abraham and Terah together to stay in Haran rather than going to Canaan as God has pointed out to them? Is that making sense? This Bible was written for us not to just revere it and not probe it. The facts have been presented for us to probe them, for them to yield hidden secrets. And the reason it's important, let's get the facts straight. Do you realize that if you don't have a large entourage, it is easy to move faster?
Definitely, yeah.
The moment you have a large entourage, your pace reduces. True or false?
It will depend on your mode of transportation.
Whether a car that can take 30 people, max, if it has 20 people, it consumes less energy.
Okay, you're right.
you get me? These are things we have to apply principles of life. So, if Abraham, when God asked you to relocate, you didn't take anything with you, you were likely to move at a faster rate. True or false?
True. From what you are deducting.
No, I mean, but is my deduction outrageous?
No.
I mean, it's a natural phenomenon.
Okay, so we are applying facts of life. And so if Abraham, now that you've lived in Haran for some time, and now you have goods, in addition to servants that have to move with you, do you realize it's going to take a longer time for Abraham to make it to Canaan?
But at least he got to Canaan.
It's not a matter of at least it got to Canaan. If you ask your son to go and buy you bread at 7 a.m. for your breakfast,
And it shows up 7 p.m.
and then he shows 7 p.m. with the bread, has he not produced the bread?
Yes.
Yeah, but he went to play Chaskele for several hours.
But at least he came home.
Let me tell you something. Do you realize that almost a similar story, Esau and Jacob? Do you realize that Esau actually came to the father with what the father wanted? Only that by the time he came,
too late.
Thank you. Are we getting the picture clear? So, yes, Abraham did finally make it to Canaan, but could he have gotten there earlier?
But he could have gotten there earlier, but maybe he wouldn't have had substance, nothing.
No, but did God add substance? Did God ask him to carry with him substance?
No, but God said he will bless him.
Yeah. Now we are going to put all this facts together. Your argument, if I'm saying that he became too laden with goods, that it delayed his movement, you could counter with this argument. But God also said he was going to bless him. So could that be the blessing God talked about? That is how I want you. Now, are you getting me? You are looking at both sides.
Yeah.
We are thinking, critical thinking.
That's what that's. Don't read the Bible and go your merry way. That's what I probe it and ask questions. That's how God reveals truths. As far as I mean, God has dealt with me. I ask questions and God will prompt me, read this, read that, think about the world. How do things happen? How does the world operate? And then all of a sudden you realize that, hey, it's a matter of replacing the name Abraham with Nisaban, and it's your life there. Are you getting me? And that's why I asked you a question. If you ask your son, buy me bread at 7 a.m., and he comes back at 7 p.m. with the bread, would that be obedience to you? Or because that's the fact that he's brought bread, no matter the time involved, if that's okay with you? Are you getting me? So these are some of the things. It is not a matter of, okay, I've brought the bread, but could the delay?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, sometimes when you want something so bad and whoever is supposed to supply it comes late, they might think they did you a service by showing up. By that time, which is 80, well, doing because he needed at a very timely moment and never showed up. So you might have just given up. So showing up, sometimes showing up very late, it's still ways that not to be showing up at all.
Thank
Don't do
you.
this.
Thank you. These are the experiential things in life that we have to confront. And so when God asked him, now we've been able to establish two things now. Abraham, did you leave your country? Because God said country. When you moved from Ur and you didn't go to Canaan straight, but you went to Haran, did you leave your country? Are you getting the point there? And we are dealing with something like this to look at, so we will learn, again, learning things about God. Because the argument is, if God made Abraham these promises, why also did Abraham delay in having children? Because one of the promises that in you shall all families of the earth be blessed, right?
Yes. Yes.
And if you, the one through whom the conduit, that the blessing will come to mankind, you don't have a child, and old age has crept on you, right? Is that promise going to be fulfilled?
But some people also still argue that Abraham's, old and passing age of having a child was also a moment for God to display that even in our old age, we can still bear fruit.
I am not disputing that. But this class, this platform we are asking, could it have been the consequences of an action that Abraham took? So that we will learn a lesson from that. Because giving birth to the child of promise at age 100 is just too much.
For you?
No. I mean, let's face it. Let's face it. Don't forget, okay, today I prepared for you. I'm going to give you the genealogy. The genealogy. I have the plate, I mean the template that I created. I'll show you it to you. Give me 5 minutes. Give me two seconds. Let me bring it up.
But Prof,
Yeah.
sorry, I hope we will have the recording of this.
Yeah. I'm recording it.
Oh, okay. I have an online meeting with my leaders this night,
Okay.
12. So I want to go off so that I can join them.
Okay.
Then I'll listen to the recording.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my man. God bless you.
Okay.
Yeah, I will get in the point there. Now, so let me bring up the spreadsheet. It's crazy. Okay, let me see.
So what is we are saying? What is the X for?
No, give me a minute. The screen. That's not what I'm sharing.
I was just asking a question. Okay, concentrate on that.
The X there stands for Abraham.
Oh, Abraham is the X. Yeah. My Abraham.
So obey command 1, X, and God. So Abraham obeyed God's first command. That's what it means.
Mm. But later on, after working with God, when God told him to go and kill his son, he went, he obeyed.
Yeah. We are not disputing that, but that we are also getting to know something about God. That, hey, when he tells you to do something, do it because, can you see my screen now? Can you see the spreadsheet?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wilson, can you see the spreadsheet?
Yes.
Hello, can you see it?
Yeah.
We can see it.
Okay. Now, these are the people whose all the way have created it all with the way to Isaac, right? But Genesis 11:31, actually 26, ends it up with Terah. But I want you to look at something, right? This column is the age each person how old the person was when they gave birth. Adam gave birth to Seth at the age of 130. His son
Adam
Seth
was 130.
Yes, when he gave birth to Seth. That means he gave birth to Cain and Abel earlier age. But don't forget, by this time we had lost both Cain and Abel. Cain had killed Abel. Abel had become a vagabond. So we didn't hear of him again. Right? So Adam, we started with Seth. Right? So the name of his child was Seth. But age at fatherhood is 130. So I want you to pay attention to this column. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, we got it.
Now, let's look at the age before Noah. Do you realize Adam, then his son, reduced it by 25 years to 105 when he gave birth to his first son, right? And then Seth's son, Enoch, gave birth at 90, right? Mm-hmm. Then Canaan, Enoch's son, gave birth at 70. So you see a reduction. Are you not getting the point there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A reduction. Then 65, still reduction. Then boom, Jared takes it to 162. We want to ask questions. What happened? See how statistics can help you. What happened? What happened such that man now had to wait a longer time? Was there a shortage of women? What happened? Okay, we don't know. Then Jared, his son, Enoch, he reduced it to 65. Are we getting what is happening?
Mm-hmm. We are watching closely.
We want to ask questions. Do you realize Enoch, he didn't die. Enoch didn't die.
Mm.
Enoch didn't die. God took him. If you look, I've put a comment here. Look at the comment. Read the comment there. Can you see the comment?
Did not die, taken to heaven.
Yeah. God took him to heaven. We want to see why this 162 So you see, you realize that Enoch just restored it to what it was before Jared, this outlier.
Mm.
So what happened in the time of Jared? Was there a shortage? And when it got to Enoch, had the shortage been repaired? Are you not getting? I'm telling you into serious students. You want to know. You want to know what was happening. And then look at what happened. Boom! 187 years. What was happening? Was it something that was continuing, but Enoch was such that whatever he did in the circumstance pleased God so much that he gave him a pass not to see death? We don't know, but we want to ask serious questions. Is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Then Methuselah's son reduced it by 5 years. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it came to 182. Then, boom, Noah took it to 500.
Can I ask a question?
What's happening?
Can I ask a question? Lamech, the year of father 1056. What does that mean? What is the interpretation?
Where?
The Lamech after Methuselah, Lamech.
Yeah, this. Okay, Lamech.
Lamech.
Right?
Yeah. What happened to 1056? What is that? What is that? The year of the father.
year. So if you calculate the years, so if it was 1970 that he gave birth, I did that. I put all this together. There is no.
So it was after 105 years, or that was his age when he gave birth to.
That's his age when he gave birth, but the year he gave birth is this. And I did the tabulation. I did the tabulation. I did all this.
And what happened? Noah, what was the value? There was no value for
We
Noah.
want to know something, because don't forget, it was in Noah's time that God decided to destroy the earth. So we could see that the destruction, maybe God was contemplating, something was happening all the way from Jared, 162. Then you had Enoch coming in with whatever, reducing it, and God, and then whatever happened, and then it got worse till Noah had to wait for a long time.
So Noah had his first child at 500.
At age 500.
Wow,
Seriously?
what were they doing?
That's why I said, when you are reading this Bible, don't read it like you are reading the storybook. God is talking, trying to put something. These are questions you need to ask. Right? So you get numbers like this. God, what are you saying? And if you think this is something, let me now go to the next, to the other column. And then let's look at what was happening there. Now, look at it, right? We are going to look at these two columns, right? These two columns, and we are going to compare, right? Now, when Adam, he waited 230 years, right? He lived 800 years more after that. Now, look at his son, 105, right?
Mm-hmm.
He reduced it, and then he lived to be 807 years more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to also, whilst you are looking, you pay attention to certain details, right? You realize that Seth reduced the age at fatherhood by 25 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he lived for 807 years, which is 7 years more than Adam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting the picture?
Mm-hmm.
But you realize that his age at death reduced from 930 to 912. Getting a picture? We will look at the same thing for the after the flood. So the genealogy is telling some powerful stories. Now, okay, we come to, right, Seth's son, Enos. He also reduced it by how many? 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize he also lived 915 years, 8 years more than the father, right? Do you agree?
Yep, we agree.
But look at his age at death. So it will seem as if the longer you waited before giving birth, the longer you lived.
Mm. That's the whole conclusion, therefore.
No, we are just probing this. All I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you to see us to this. And this is the Bible. You take the trouble to do this. I took the trouble to do this. With this, I can tell you the year the flood happened. I can tell you. The year the flood happened is in this. I can tell you. And I created it myself. You won't find this on the internet. Nobody has done it. And I'm saying that with all humility. Right? Now, I just gave you something to play with, right? To force you. Because this also will help us to answer some of the questions we are asking about Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after Noah, we'll take it, after Noah, right? We come to his children, Shem. We have this because Shem is the line. Oh. Shem is the line, right, of Abraham. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you realize that after Shem, things changed. Now, all the way to 35. Right? So the post-Noah years, because Shem was part of Noah. You remember he lived in the old world. He lived in the pre-flood world. Right? So his children will be post-flood children. The first child of the post-flood era, Arphaxad, he gave birth at age 35. Look at, so let's He gave birth at age 35, right? Sure. Afasa. At age 35, right? But look at how long he lived. Only 403 after that, giving us 438 years. So what was happening when people were living for 930, something, blah, 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 blah? How come? What was happening after the post-flood years? How come? To goes to, we get to Abraham, right? Who lived to be 175. What was happening? Is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but I hope it will become an appetite water. It's an appetizer for you to start paying attention to the details of the Bible. Because this by itself tells a lot of story. One of the things I want you to look at a gentleman called Lamech, right? He lived to be 182 before he gave birth. Do you realize that he reduced his fathers by 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Right? His father was Methuselah.
Mm-hmm. Methuselah lived so long. Mm-hmm.
Methuselah died in the flood. It's one of the things people don't know. So if the flood killed wicked people, why did Methuselah die in the flood? Was Methuselah wicked? And if longevity is supposed to be the reward for righteousness, why did Methuselah die in the flood? See, the author doesn't have to tell us this, but when you compute this, you realize that his age coincided with the flood. So if you look at the year of death for Methuselah, right? Year of death, Methuselah's year of death, 1656 in the old calendar, that was when the flood happened. So I can put a comment here to give you an idea that that was when the flood happened. Where is the comment? Comment. That's how. This is 1656. That was the year. Then I want you to look at if 1656 was the year the flood happened, right? Who and who didn't survive the flood? So you have to go here and look at anybody who lived before 1656. Now, I want you to look at something. Why this is important. This is Methuselah's son, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lived to be 182 years, 5 years less than his father, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look at how long he lived after he had given birth. 595. Said that he died at the age of 777. Way too early for those. So what happened? Go and read the text. This man made a statement in the Bible. And that could help us to look at a lot of things. So he didn't, he predeceased his father.
He did what? What was the word you used?
Died before his father.
Mm.
Despite the fact that he lived, right? So did he pay a price for giving birth earlier than his father? We don't know. But he lived roughly over close to 200 years less than his father had lived. You get the picture? We want to know what happened. We know. So these details are there. I want to research into this. Why did such anomalies? Okay. Gabo, wouldn't you like to know those things?
Sure, I would. I would like to know.
This is what
this chart is really this chart is really good to us to learn and know about all these things. I knew Methuselah. We used to know Methuselah was one of the oldest person, but I can see that he was not the oldest.
No, Methuselah was the oldest.
He was the oldest person.
Yeah, 969. If you look at it, 969. Nobody. The closest person was, I think, 962, which would be Jared.
Yeah. Because when we were in school, we all knew Methuselah was there.
Yeah, he lived the longest.
The longest person.
Right? But if you look at it carefully, he didn't have as much time to take care of his children. Like, for example, Noah. Like, for example, Adam. Because he waited for how many? 187 years. 57 years more than Adam. So you want to look at this. And one of the arguments I want you to understand, for example, Noah was described as a perfect man. He wasn't wicked. And that's why he was spared. I want you to understand, Noah lived until 2 years before Abraham was born. So if this is giving us the chart of the line of Noah, and Noah was alive, why did wickedness? What was he doing? What happened after him? What happened to him after the flood? What sort of life did he live? What sort of example? Gabo, are you
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
No, I'm talking of Noah.
Noah.
Serious questions. Yeah, because this was, don't forget, Noah, look at Noah, the year he died. He died at 2006. He lived to be 950. He died in the year 2006. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me? Now let's look at Terah. When was Terah born? Terah was born 1878. Right? Which means he lived with Noah for at least 130 years.
That was Terah. Okay.
Are you getting me? Look at when Abraham was born, right? Abraham was born. This is Abraham. Abraham was born the year 2008. When did Noah die? 2006. So Noah died 2 years before Abraham was born. So Abraham's father, Terah, lived in the time of Noah for at least over 100 years. So
where were they during the flood? Where was Terah during the flood when Noah was going through the flood?
He hadn't been born. Terah had not been born. Don't forget the flood happened in 1656, right? 1656. And Terah was born in 1878. Right? Close to 200 years later. Dr. Boyson, are you getting the picture clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm giving you some things, some serious bones to chew on with just the genealogy that the Bible has given us from Genesis chapter 5 to 11. See how much we can learn from it. Gabo, do you agree? We can learn quite a bit.
A lot.
And it will help us to answer a lot of the questions. I think this is a good place to. we haven't done what I wanted us to really get out of. You're getting me? Things happen, and as I told you, the skill you have to master is not waiting or learning to derive implicit truths from explicit truths, because the author doesn't have to state everything free before you can glean facts. Part of being a scholar, and a good one at that, is being able to derive truths from truths, creating knowledge from knowledge. Are we getting the picture clear? Because God himself said, my people perish for lack of what?
Knowledge.
So if somebody says, how do I even know this? We just did this little thing. Look at the revelation. Figures are given us from genealogy. How many people read the genealogy? How many people take the trouble to read the genealogy? And if they do, how many take the trouble to do what I have done? It was God. One day I was reading, God said, Robert, are you just reading to go your merry way? I was trying to read as many chapters as possible, and God will just drag me back. Go and read the genealogy until it hit me, and I created this. And I can't understand. Is that making sense? We will use this to answer some of the questions about Abraham. Are we not getting the picture clear?
This is very impressive. This is really, really impressive. And you said where you put the value, what does that mean? There was no value?
Yeah, because the Bible is silent on that, and there is no way to get the value there. That's why. But where I can derive the figures, a lot of the figures I derive them, right? All this, as I said, the Bible gives you this, it gives you this, and then I derive everything else.
Okay.
So all these dates are before BC, before Christ was born.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will learn. That's why now you know why I don't rush. I don't want you to rush and read as no. Let's get as much truth from one text and build our skill set. Dr. Boyson, I think Thursday we'll have a lot to talk about, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's stop here. I mean, I think Dr. Boyson, please let me end it.